I am 97 years old. My skin is a map of everywhere I've been, but my mind is a graveyard of everywhere I failed to actually show up. I sit in this chair, and the silence of this room is so heavy it feels like it has physical weight. People come to visit me, and they speak in loud, slow voices as if my ears are broken, but it's not my hearing that's changed. It's the world. The world has become so loud, so fast, and so incredibly shallow that I find myself retreating further into the corridors of my own memory just to find something real to hold on to. I see you. I see you in your 30s, and it breaks my heart. I see you vibrating with a kind of nervous energy that you mistake for ambition. You are like a man running through a beautiful forest, so focused on the stopwatch in his hand that he never notices the trees. You are in the peak of your human existence. Your heart is strong, your mind is sharp, and your body is a masterpiece of biological engineering that you are currently treating like a disposable tool. And you are doing it all because you've been sold a lie. The lie is called the milestone. You've been told that life is a series of boxes to be checked. Marriage, mortgage, career trajectory, investment portfolio, social standing. You spend your 31st, 35th, and 39th years obsessing over these boxes. You think that once you check enough of them, a door will open and you will finally step into a room called peace. I am 97, and I am telling you, that door does not exist. The peace you are looking for was in the hallway you just ran through, but you were running too fast to feel the carpet beneath your feet. I remember being 34. It was a Tuesday in October. I remember it because I spent 4 hours that day in a state of absolute rage. Why? Because a colleague of mine had been mentioned in a trade journal, and I hadn't. I felt small. I felt invisible. I felt like a failure. I sat in my office and I stared at the wood grain of my desk, plotting how I could outwork him, how I could win. I didn't go home for dinner that night. I stayed late, typing memos that no one would read, fueled by a toxic cocktail of ego and insecurity. Do you know where that colleague is now? He's been dead for 20 years. Do you know where that trade journal is? It's sitting at the bottom of a landfill, buried under tons of other important papers. And those 4 hours of my life, they are gone. I traded 4 hours of my peak vitality for a feeling of bitterness that achieved nothing. If I could buy those 4 hours back today, I would pay $1 million for them. I would spend them sitting on a porch, watching a beetle crawl across a leaf. I would spend them listening to the sound of my own breath. But I can't. They are the property of the void now. Your 30s are being stolen from you by a thief called comparison. You live in a digital panopticon. You wake up and the first thing you do is look at a glowing rectangle to see how much better everyone else is doing. You see the curated, filtered, and dishonest snapshots of other people's lives, and you use them as a whip to beat yourself with. You see a 32-year-old in a private jet, and you feel like a loser because you're driving a used sedan. You see a 38-year-old with a perfect body, and you feel disgusted by the soft edges of your own. You are being psychologically mutilated by these images. In my day, we only had to worry about the Joneses next door. If they got a new Cadillac, we felt a little sting of envy, but then we went back to our lives. You are competing with the entire world's highlight reels. You are trying to live a life that looks good in a photograph rather than a life that feels good in your soul. You are sacrificing the internal for the external. You are decorating a house that you never actually sit down in. And let's talk about your hustle, this modern worship of being busy. You wear your exhaustion like a badge of honor. You tell people you're slammed or buried as if that makes you important. It doesn't. It makes you a slave. You are a slave to a system that views you as a unit of production. You are selling the hours of your life, the most precious, non-renewable resource in the universe, for scraps of paper and digital numbers. I was a man of the hustle. I thought that if I wasn't working, I was rotting. I thought that leisure was for the weak. I worked weekends. I took my work on vacation. I checked my mail while my children were telling me about their day. I thought I was being a provider. I thought I was being a hero. I wasn't. I was being a coward. I was using work as an excuse to avoid the terrifying intimacy of being present. It is much easier to be busy than it is to be here. To be here requires you to face yourself. It requires you to look at your wife and hear her loneliness. It requires you to look at your children and realize they are growing up without you. I remember my son's 7th birthday. I was there. Physically, I am in the photographs, but I wasn't there. My mind was in a boardroom in New York. I was thinking about a contract. I was calculating margins. My son was blowing out the candles, looking at me for a reaction, and I gave him a distracted nod while checking my watch. I thought, I'll make it up to him later. I'll take him on a big trip next year. The big trip happened, but it didn't fix anything, because you can't buy back the light in a 7-year-old's eyes that you extinguished by not looking back at him. Now my son is 68 years old. He's an old man himself. When we talk, I can still feel the distance I created in my 30s. That distance is a canyon that no amount of money could ever bridge. You think your 30s are for building. You think you are laying the foundation for your life. But I am telling you, your 30s are the life. This isn't the foundation. This is the house. If you spend the whole time hammering and sawing, you'll never realize that the roof is already over your head and the fire is already in the hearth. Look at your body. In your 30s, you still feel invincible. You think your back will always be straight. You think your eyes will always be sharp? You think your energy is a well that will never run dry? It is a lie. Time is a slow-moving acid. It eats away at you, millimeter by millimeter. One day you will wake up and your knees will ache for no reason. One day you will realize you can't read the menu without glasses. One day you will find that you can't play the sport you love anymore. When that day comes, you will look back at your 30s and you will realize you had a Ferrari and you kept it in the garage. You had the most beautiful machinery ever created, and you used it to sit in a cubicle for 10 hours a day. You used it to stare at a screen. You used it to worry about things that don't matter. I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine that you are me. You are 97. You are sitting in this chair. Your friends are all in the ground. Your spouse is gone. Your family is busy with their own lives. You have all the money you ever wanted. You have all the titles. You have all the respect. And then a genie appears. The genie says, I can give you one thing. I can give you 1 hour back in your 35th year. I can make you 35 again with your 35-year-old heart and your 35-year-old lungs just for 60 minutes. Now, what would you pay for that hour? You'd give everything. You'd give the house, the car, the bank account, the legacy. You'd give it all just to feel the strength in your legs again, just to feel the way your lungs can take in a deep, effortless gulp of air, just to look at your young children and feel the heat of their small hands in yours. Now, here is the secret. You are in that hour right now. You are currently living the moment that your 97-year-old self would die to have back. And yet, how are you spending it? Are you savoring it? Are you tasting the air? Or are you complaining about the weather? Are you worrying about your boss's opinion of you? Are you feeling behind because someone you went to high school with just bought a bigger house? It is madness. It is a mass psychosis. I regret the stuff. I look around this room and I see the few things I have left. I had a house full of treasures. I had collections. I had furniture that cost more than a doctor's salary. It's all gone. My children sold most of it. The rest went to charity. No one wanted my treasures. They were just future trash that I spent my life's energy accumulating. I worked extra hours to buy a dining table that we rarely sat at because I was too busy working to pay for it. I regret the silence. I don't mean the silence of peace. I mean the silence of things unsaid. I spent my 30s being composed. I thought it was important to be strong and professional. I didn't tell my friends I loved them. I didn't tell my father I admired him until his mind was too far gone to understand me. I held my emotions in as if they were a weakness. Now I have so many words stuck in my throat and no one left to say them to. Don't make that mistake. Be loud, be messy. Tell people how you feel. If you love someone, tell them until they are tired of hearing it. If you are hurting, scream. If you are happy, dance like a fool. This dignity you are trying to maintain is a shroud. It's for dead people. While you are alive, be alive. I see the way you treat your time. You kill time. You waste time. You pass time. You don't understand. Time is the only currency that really matters, and the exchange rate is terrible. You are trading your gold for lead. Stop waiting for the right time to start living. There is no right time. There is only this time. There is only the messy, imperfect, complicated present. You think you'll be happy when the kids are older. You'll be happy when the debt is paid. You'll be happy when you find the one. You are wrong. If you cannot find happiness in a cup of tea, you will not find it in $1 million wedding. If you cannot find peace in a 5-minute walk, you will not find it on a beach in the Maldives. Happiness is a muscle you have to train in your 30s, or it will atrophy by the time you reach my age. I look at the clock on the wall. The second hand is moving. Tick, tick, tick. That is the sound of your life disappearing. It is the most terrifying sound in the world if you aren't living. But if you are living, if you are truly, deeply, passionately involved in your own existence, then that sound is just a rhythm. It's the beat of a song you are dancing to. I want you to go to a mirror. I want you to look at your face. See the lines around your eyes? Those are the beginning of me. See the strength in your neck? That is a gift that won't last. Look at yourself and realize that you are a miracle. You are the result of billions of years of evolution, of thousands of ancestors who survived wars and famines and plagues just so you could be here in your 30s in a world of relative peace and incredible abundance. And you have the audacity to be bored? You have the nerve to feel unsatisfied? Wake up, go outside tonight and look at the stars. Realize that you are a tiny speck on a blue marble hurtling through an infinite void. Realize that your problems, your deadlines, your reputation, your status are so small they don't even register in the scale of the universe. The only thing that matters is the connection between you and the other specks on this marble. I am 97 and I am telling you, the only wealth I have left is the love I gave away. The only memories that don't hurt are the ones where I forgot about myself and focused on someone else. The only time I truly lived was the time I stopped trying to be someone and just was. Don't wait until you're 97 to figure this out. The price of admission to this realization is your entire life. Don't pay it all at once at the very end. Pay it in small increments every day. Stop the hustle. Kill the ego. Burn the 5-year plan. Pick up your phone right now. Don't scroll. Call someone you haven't spoken to in years. Tell them you were thinking about them. Go to your kitchen and eat a piece of fruit as if it's the last thing you'll ever taste. Look at your partner and realize that they are also a miracle who is slowly dying right in front of you. Your 30s are a fire. Don't use that fire to power a machine. Use it to warm your soul. I am so tired now. The light is fading and the shadows are getting long. My time is almost up. But yours is right now. Can you hear that? Tick, tick, tick. That's your life. Don't let it run out empty. Go live. For God's sake, go live.